Ladies and gentlemen, with this story, there is a lot to talk about. Matter of fact, let's not skip that picture. Let's go back real quick because I want to make sure that you guys get an eyeful of these two disgusting individuals that you guys see on my screen. And I say that for a lot of different reasons. I know people might get mad wondering, why are you talking about people's looks? You're not the picture of health, DJ Just Jay. I know I'm not the sexiest individual in the world. I get that, right? But I just think that it's a bit disgusting and it is a bit reprehensible when people who are in charge of taking care of children misuse, abuse, hurt, and murder children. I think they are the lowest of the low. I think they're bullies. I think they're horrible people. I think they're all going to go to hell, right? With the harshest judgment in the world, I think that we owe that to our children. They can't speak for themselves nor defend themselves. So I hope I make myself clear about that. Now, the story is going to have some details that are probably going to piss you off, as well as my opinion, but that is your disclaimer. If you need to exit, you know what to do. If you need to exit the video. Now, I'm sad to report that this story comes out of Spring, Texas. Let me see if I can get my hand up. Oh, I can't do it. I can't give the full L to Texas because my hand still has crap in it. That's about the biggest L that I can give Texas right now. Spring, Texas. And the parents of 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 children, 4 human beings. These people have been charged after Harris County, which I believe that's pretty close to Houston, Harris County in that area. Harris County Sheriff's deputy said that three of them were found standing in a roadway Thursday night during a welfare check in Spring. And I'm getting this article from click2houston.com. So thank you for the article. That's directly from Houston. Okay. Now, the kids were initially discovered by a man and his girlfriend and her sister around 10 p.m. Again, 10 p.m. at night in the 4,000 block of Cypress Hill Drive. Lizette Lingle, at age 17 years old, said that they were walking back from a store when they saw the children in the middle of the street. And I want y'all to think about this. Imagine you're doing your daily business, you're coming back home, getting ready to call it a night, and you see babies in the street, no parents, looking a hot mess. Could y'all imagine what that's like? Like, this is no accident. This is flat out neglect, right? This is no mistake. This is no accident. This is not like the parents were home and the kids snuck out and left. Okay, so let me give you some more details. They said they were coming home from the Valero down the street and we just saw them in the street. They were in the driveway just running around in the street. Now, according to Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, the children were left alone for 2 days. Yes, my state takes another freaking L. They weren't left in the street for 2 minutes. They weren't left in the street for 2 hours. Not even 24 hours. 2 whole days. And you have to ask yourself, where the hell were the parents at? What were they doing? Right? Does anybody have any idea what these parents were doing, where they were at? Why would they seemingly abandon their children like this? Are you guys wondering? Do you guys have any thoughts about that? Do you have any speculation? Let me give you some more details. One of the kids actually could have got hit, said Jonathan Ubita, who was one of the people in the group that spotted the children. And only one of them, oh my God, only one of the kids had pants on with no shirt and it was freezing cold outside. One of the children didn't have on anything at all. Booty naked in the street. These are children. The Harris County, Houston, Spring area is a very busy, populated area, right? These are our babies, y'all. Deputy said that 2 boys and 2 girls, with the oldest being close to 4 years old and the youngest being 1 year old were found. Gonzalez said the 1-year-old had fallen from the crib and was on the floor. I mean, the kids could have been hit by a car out here or could have remained in the home and something could have happened. Like, how many times have we heard about these accidental fires that happen at the houses, right? How many times have we done stories on the houses catching fire and the mothers or parents or whomever were nowhere to be found? Quite a few. Lingo said that she had entered the home to see if there was an adult inside when she heard a thump. She ran inside and saw the tiny baby. It didn't even look like it was a year old. I mean, he was skinny and little. Let me see. Ubita said that the conditions inside the home were heartbreaking. He described the house as in disarray. You know what that means? We have this term. What do we call that? Nasty, filthy, disgusting. I forget what is that term? What is that term? I forget that term. I'll think of it here in a minute. I forget the name. It's a name that you call a place that's really dirty and filthy. Y'all will catch it in the chat. That's why we're live, because I can't think of the name right now. But nonetheless, they said that there was water all over the floor, and the saddest part was that when he saw the chair right by the, oh my goodness, they saw a chair by the refrigerator door that was open. It's like they're hungry. They had been starving. Kids hadn't eaten in 2 days, under 4 years old. Deplorable, thank you. Deplorable conditions. That's the word I was looking for. Deplorable. The couple called for help while they said other neighbors changed the children's soiled diapers and fed them. And I'll let you guys hear that interview. When the deputies arrived at the scene, they said that the 4-year-old boy told them, "I think my mommy is dead." Keep in mind, this is a positive story. So let's keep the positive energy up. Let's not feel too sad because the children did survive. Let's remember that. They did survive this. They're going to be okay. But the 4-year-old boy told the police, "I think my mother is dead." Can y'all imagine what that's like, being 4 years old and just being left for dead at home with no parents and your siblings and y'all don't know what to do? Do y'all even remember being 4 years old? Because I don't. How does a 4-year-old grasp this concept as the oldest child among babies and to be able to relay this to his siblings? In addition to HCSO investigators, CPS responded to the scene, and the children are now with family members. Thank goodness for that, and I just pray that they're with the right family members, because sometimes that shit goes horribly wrong too. Now, Gonzalez said the children's mother and father were later found at a motel, Holiday Inn. Found the, look, I want y'all to look at this. Let me get this big, nasty, grimace looking creature on my screen. And this dude who looks like a freaking puffer fish on the right hand side of my screen. I want y'all to look at these two damn fools. They said that they found them at a motel that was located at night. Matter of fact, I can find out what hotel this was. Let me see if I can Google this address. I'm just curious to know what upscale freaking hotel they were at. Let me see. This was in Spring, Texas. Let's see. What pops up? Oh my God. Y'all want to see what hotel they were at? Y'all are going to hate me for this. What hotel can y'all take a guess as to what hotel they were at? I'm going to put this on the screen if anybody wants to take a guess, but I'm going to actually just show you what hotel they were at. I want y'all to see where they went once they abandon their children. Well, would you look at this? Look at this. The Mosey Wozy. How about that? In-town suites. That's what came up. The MFN in-town suites. Now, I could be wrong, but that's the address that came up. 91, let me see, 9155 Highway 6. That's the address that comes up for in-town suites, Houston, Highway 6. That's what came up. This is where they found the mother and the father. The mother, who has been identified as, let me see if I can get her fat ass, her fat face, let me get her face up on the screen. That is 27-year-old Angel Huff, Huff. Pretty sure she was huffing something. Probably huffing markers and dick. She has been charged with 3 counts of child endangerment. Why not 4 if they got 4 kids? That doesn't make any sense. Does it? 3 counts. I'm going to read this again. This is coming from click2houston.com. She has been charged with 3 counts of child endangerment, even though they got 4 effing kids. How does that make any sense? Do I need to make a trip down there to Houston and find out why we only got 3 out of 4 kids? There should be 4 counts, not 3. But let's keep going. Gonzalez said a felony violation of bond conditions have been filed against the child's father, 31-year-old Markel Dorsey. Let me see if I can get dumbass Markel Dorsey's face up on the screen. There we go. 31 years old. Court documents show Dorsey had 2 assault charges on his record for choking Huff, the mother of his children, in hotels. Is that like a sexual pleasure thing? They're at a hotel. I'm assuming they're at a hotel because they was trying to, that doesn't even make any sense. Let me not even say that. Because if you're going to be a responsible parent, you take care of your kids and y'all usually have your private time when the kids are at home when they're sleeping. You do that at home. You don't leave the kids at the house to turn around and go get some more. See, this is what I don't understand. Y'all see what my shirt says? I can't hold my other hand up, but this shirt says, babies for benefits. That means these fools only had these children because they were only trying to collect benefits off of these kids with 4 kids. And it seems like these kids are being a burden on their sex life, but their sex life is what has them with these kids that they clearly don't want, don't love, don't care about, and don't want to take care of. But you can't tell grown people not to have unprotected, reckless sex. Is that wrong to say that? Is that wrong to tell a mother who's supposed to be this strong queen, this strong, infallible person? You can't tell them that they're wrong about anything. It's your womb, your body, your choice, but you can't tell them to be responsible for the choices that you make, right? Is it wrong to tell them that you shouldn't be dating thugs? And I call him a thug because he has a criminal record. And I think any man who beats on a woman is a thug. How about that? Any ladies agree with me? I agree with me. Do you agree with me? I hope so. I think any man who beats on a woman ain't shit at all. Let me give you guys the fair usage. He had felony violation of bond conditions, 2 assault charges on record. Isn't that something? Let me give you guys the fair usage. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And if you guys are watching this, do me a favor and please click that thumbs up. We want to have at least one thumb up for everybody who's watching. But let me show you guys the news videos that I was able to find. Here we go. Let's get it.
Store. Now to a developing story out of North Harris County. 4 kids found abandoned inside a home.
Harris County deputies say the children were found at a home on Cypress Hill Drive and Cypress Spring Drive, and that's where we find KPRC2's Brittany Jeffers. And Brittany, you spoke with the man who found the kids in deplorable living conditions.
Well, not only did this man find the children, he also called 911. He said he and his girlfriend had just left the store. They were out here in this area when they found 3 of those 4 children standing here in the middle of the street all alone.
We see 2 kids naked, and it's cold outside at that. And they just running around onto the street, and we're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
He wanted to conceal his identity, but Johnny says around 10 o'clock last night, he was shocked to see 3 children in the front of this home in the middle of the street with no adult in sight.
We got to see where their parents at, so we go knock on the door. Nobody's going in there. We look inside. It's a mess. Diapers were soiled, like they haven't been changed in days.
The interior of the home was in an awful state of disarray, untidiness. It was very unkept. Refrigerator doors open. One of the children, the toddler, was inside the home, had fallen from the crib, was on the floor. And so really an awful set of circumstances.
Sheriff Ed Gonzalez says 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls, all under the age of 4, had been abandoned, left to fend for themselves for at least 2 days.
Our team became increasingly concerned because sadly one of the children said that he thought his mommy was dead. So that was something very chilling.
Later on, Sheriff Gonzalez says the children's parents were located at a motel on Highway 6 and 290. The mother, Angel Huff, now facing 3 counts of child endangerment. Their father, Markel Dorsey, a felony violation of bond conditions. Court documents show that Dorsey has a criminal history, most recently charged with assaulting the children's mother at a motel on January 1st.
Let me back that up. Let me let y'all hear that one more time.
Child endangerment. Their father, Markel Dorsey, a felony violation of bond conditions. Court documents show that Dorsey has a criminal history, most recently charged with assaulting the children's mother at a motel on January 1st. So the big question on everyone's mind is, how are these children doing? I asked the sheriff, and he says that they are okay, they are safe, they're with a family member right now. We also reached out to CPS, which released this statement saying Child Protective Services is investigating this case alongside law enforcement to ensure the well-being of the children. We're grateful the children were found unharmed and that they're now safe with other family members. For now, we're live in Spring. I'm Brittany Jeffers, KPRC 2 News.
All right, I'm actually going to skip this video right here. It's a little bit long. I think it's close to about 10 minutes. But if you want to see the interview, it's on YouTube. Pretty easy to find. But let me go ahead and skip to these next couple of videos because they're a little bit shorter.
4 young children were found abandoned during a welfare check in Spring overnight. The oldest child, listen to this, just 4 years old. Happened at around 11 last night on Cypress Hill Drive. Investigators say, here's what happened. 2 teenagers spotted 3 of those young children in the middle of the street, and one of the kids had no clothes on. Adam Bennett is in Spring right now. Adam, do authorities know where the kids are?
Well, Lynn, they say the kids are safe right now with friends of the family, and the parents, they say they found them at a motel a half hour away. The mom has been charged with child endangerment. The dad has been charged with a felony violation of bond conditions. And the sheriff believes those kids were alone for up to 2 days.
You know, it's just hard to believe that this happened.
From their porch on Cypress Hill Drive in Spring, Mike and Marjorie McElvin have a front row seat to their quiet, peaceful street.
We were out here yesterday afternoon, too.
Which makes what happened 2 doors down shocking.
And what can you say? Just terrible, man.
Last night, a group of teens was walking back from a corner store when they saw 3 young kids on a driveway.
Running up to us, you know, just screaming with excitement, you know, like, oh my gosh, people. And one just rips off their diaper and comes, running in the street naked.
We're knocking on the door, nobody answers, but we look through that front window, everything's a mess.
Teens say the doors were open, so they went inside to make sure everything was okay.
The fridge was open. It looked like a chair was right there for the babies to grab food because they were hungry.
They were just saying that mommy was dead or mommy had crashed.
The teens called an adult for help, who then called 911 and cared for the kids until deputies arrived. A neighbor told us those children had been living there for about a year.
When I've seen them with the kids, they've been attentive. The mother was always outside playing with them. If you see the front yard, it looks like a playground.
I really hope that the kids, end up in a good, proper home and that the system does right by them. They deserve that love.
CPS is investigating alongside law enforcement. We did speak with a couple of people who were here at the home today, a couple of adults. They did not want to talk to us. Meanwhile, the sheriff again tells us that a family friend is helping to take care of these kids and that they appear to be in good spirits. Len?
Very, very sad story. Glad the kids are okay. Adam, thank you.
This morning, one of the parents accused of abandoning their 4 small children for up to 2 days in North Harris County just faced a judge for the first time.
And I want y'all to remember, they're only charging the mom with 3 counts. Why not 4 if they're 4 children? 4 children's lives were in danger. That makes no sense at all.
Markel Dorsey is facing several charges in connection to the case. KPRC2's Rilwan Belogan is live inside the Harris County Courthouse downtown with what we know this morning. Rilwan.
Hey, good morning. We were in this room when we watched Dorsey appear for the first time in front of a judge, watching it on that monitor there. But who didn't appear is the mother, Angela Huff. She did not appear in court this morning because she did make bond. Now, she was charged with 4 counts of abandoning a child under 15 years old. Now, each charge had a $10,000, which Huff made, $10,000 bond, that is. Now, the father of the 4 children, Markel Dorsey, did appear in court this morning. $2,500 for evading arrest and $25,000 for violating protection order. Dorsey is currently on bond for 4 other charges, and this morning a judge said while on bond for 3 of those charges, he was again arrested. The judge said he was violating bond conditions this week when authorities say they found him with Angela Huff. He and Huff are parents to the 4 children found alone in their spring home, fending for themselves for possibly up to 2 days. Court records show Dorsey has multiple assault charges for choking Huff.
What do y'all think? Do y'all think that they should ever get the kids back? Because if you ask me, I say no. Those kids could have easily have died. I say no. Once you make a decision that puts the children's lives in danger, I don't think you should ever have access to them again. Not without going through something very, very strenuous, like proving your work history, getting parenting classes, getting monitored visits, monitored everything. And there was one other thing I can't remember. Background checks also. Just absolutely ridiculous. There are not enough measures in place to make sure that these people, when they try to get these kids back, that they're suitable to be parents, because these people are clearly not ready at all.
That's my clear and convincing evidence that there is no other condition or combination of conditions that are less restrictive that I can impose that would ensure safety of this complainant and prevent flight. Mr. Dorsey cannot afford these bonds at this time.
And again, he has a $25,000 bond for evading, or rather for protection violations, and $2,500 for evading arrest. Now, the children, those 4 kids, are safe and with family as Child Protective Services investigates.
New at this hour, Angela Huff is due back in court today. She's the woman accused of abandoning her 4 children in Spring last Friday. Their dad, Markel Dorsey, is charged with evading arrest and violating a protective order. Ugochi Iloka joins us live from downtown with a court appearance just wrapped up. Ugochi.
Yeah, 27-year-old Angela K. Huff is charged with 4 counts of abandoning a child under the age of 15. Now, Huff, the mom of 4, was out on bond and seen in court, very emotional, standing in front of the judge. Now, this is video of Huff facing that judge earlier. She said in court that she's receiving mental health treatment. We tried to talk to her outside of the courtroom, but she didn't.
She's receiving mental health treatment? Why? Can anybody explain that to me? Why is she receiving mental health treatment? They let her produce 4 children, and not once did mental health ever come up until she decides to go abandon her kids to go get some more wiener in order to try to produce some more children so she can collect benefits more off of those children's back. Babies for benefits. She's not she's not mentally insane, mentally incompetent. She's just a selfish bitch. Mental health my ass. But you'll let them be a parent though to 4 kids this whole time. Mental illness is no excuse to murder and abuse children. I think my stance on that is very clear. If your mental condition puts children at risk, then you should not be a parent.
Huff, the mom of 4, was out on bond and seen in court, very emotional, standing in front of the judge. Now, this is video of Huff facing that judge earlier. She said in court that she's receiving mental health treatment. We tried to talk to her outside of the courtroom, but she didn't say anything, was very upset. This is the mom. Harris County Sheriff's Office deputies accused of leaving her 4 kids home alone for at least 2 days. I reported on Friday that authorities said 3 of her kids were found walking in the street by teens. 1 nude and 1 toddler was found in her spring home that had urine on the floor, dirty diapers, old food on the ground. Now, investigators say Huff was found at a nearby motel with the children's father, Markel Dorsey. Take a listen to what Huff's attorney had to say about her mental state.
She has a history of mental illness, and one of the main concerns the court has is that she contact her mental health provider and make sure that she's stable.
So how long has she had mental health issues? This is what I don't like. Here's what I don't like. They're throwing mental illness out there too much. I agree with you. And let me say this. They're only throwing it out there when they're in trouble and when they're facing legal ramifications. Do you understand the difference? They don't talk about this while they got the kids, continue to keep producing the kids, keep continuing to keep procreating. They don't talk about mental illness when they say, you know what, you got mental illness. Maybe you shouldn't have more than 1 kid. Maybe you shouldn't have a 2nd kid. Maybe you shouldn't have a 3rd kid. Maybe you shouldn't have a 4th kid. Maybe you ought to plug that thing up and snip that shit. You just continue to keep letting them have kids until they do something that almost kills the kids. And now all of a sudden, mental illness. Cut her some slack. Mental illness. Let's not charge her with 4 counts. Let's only give her 3 counts, even though there were 4 kids, which means there should have been 4 counts and not 3. Her mental state. They're not talking about her, the baby's father's mental state for whooping her ass. Are they? No.
She does not have custody of her children. Her children are now being raised by her grandparents. And so right now our goal is to just get her in a good mental place so that she can eventually be reunited with her children.
She should never, N-E-V-E-R, you know how they say never say never? No, never be reunited with them kids. She should be, they both, hashtag TTO and TTT. Here's what I believe. I believe that they need to take this woman's uterus and donate it to science. How about that? Let them poke and prod on it. Do some experiments on it. Let the aliens come down from Area 51 and come and experiment on it and find out why she's so damn stupid.
And Dorsey is currently...
It's only funny because the kids survived. That's it.
In the Harris County Jail. He is facing charges of violating a protective order against Huff, as well as evading arrest. Now, we know that Markel was actually out. Dorsey, was out for felony assault against Huff. And so that is something they're sorting out right now too. Back to you all.
All right, thank you.
Developing right now in Spring, 4 children, all under the age of 4, are said to be safe after some were found.
Shouldn't children under the age of 10, I thought in Texas, that falls under super aggravated child abuse laws, right? I thought this should count as super aggravated child abuse. You dump your kids and just leave them there at the house to die. I think that's abuse. That's abusive.
Wandering in the street alone last night.
Fox 26's Domley Keith is live in Spring where those kids were discovered. Domley.
Yeah, fortunately, a group of teenagers happened by as the 4-year-old and his 2 younger siblings were roaming in the road here outside their home around 11 o'clock last night. Sheriff's investigators say they found the parents around 30 minutes away at a motel. Walking in their neighborhood here in Spring late on a Thursday night, these teens...
They were 30 minutes away? Good Lord, that's a half an hour away. They really didn't want them kids to survive at all.
Took a look in the road and couldn't believe 3 toddlers were wandering alone.
None of them had shirts on at all. It was really chilly out, actually. And then one that was naked.
It was nighttime, and anything could have happened. Somebody could have snatched them up. So
the kids say 2 of the little ones were wearing only extremely soiled diapers. So the teenagers tried to find the parents, seen here in mugshots now that they've been arrested.
You walk up the driveway, every door is open. The garage, the back door, their car.
The house was completely dirty. The car door was open. Everything was everywhere, like water all over the floor.
It was dirty. You know, it seemed like they were there for a while. And, you know, they had the fridge open with the chair holding it open.
Let me stop it right there. We've already heard most of this video, so I'm going to stop it right there. And let me say this. I think the thing that always catches my attention, that always bothers me, this contrast always bothers me when you have somebody, see if I can get her back up on the screen. You guys can clearly tell that if this woman were to buy a plane ticket, she would have to buy 2 seats because she has an ass so wide that she would take up 2 rows. She'd take up 2 seats. Got to buy extra space, right? It's a big ass woman. And I find it, and I only crack jokes, and I'm a big boy myself. Yes, y'all right. I'm a little overweight my goddamn self. It's understood. But I find it highly egregious when somebody who clearly understands what it's like to eat good, like me, and when you starve children. This is what she did. She ain't missing no meals. She ain't missing no dick. And she damn sure was missing all of her mental health appointments. But she didn't miss that dick appointment though, did she? Didn't miss that dick appointment though. Ain't never missed a buffet. This woman ain't never missed a meal. Ain't missed a snack. Ain't missed a breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a healthy shake in between. Never. But you would leave your children for 2 whole freaking days. Leaving your children at any point in time unattended by themselves, it's not even hard. If you think about it, the grandparents took custody of the kids. Why not just get them to babysit? Like, why not do that? Did you want them to die? Is that what you wanted to ultimately happen? Why would you not just make a phone call? Hey, grandma. Hey, grandpa. I just got me a dick appointment. Probably because they would have told your fat ass that you didn't need no more dick because you don't need no more kids because you don't already take care of the kids that you already have, right? But damn, who wants to be held accountable? Clearly not these 2, right? They're 2 big-ass, grown-ass children. They're like Toys R Us kids because they don't never want to grow up. And I don't think they ever need kids. They are grown-ass people with bad mentalities, and bad mentalities don't need to be around children in any shape, form, fashion, or capacity. How about that? But let me go ahead and throw a per hands up in the chat for the kids, because the kids survived. So in all actuality, aside from the jokes, and aside from me being mean, and aside from some of y'all getting a little triggered, This is actually a positive story, but I think that they need at least as many years in jail as kids that survived. 4. Give them 4 years in jail. I'll be more than happy with that. Anything less would be uncivilized, if y'all remember that commercial. But thank you guys so much for listening to this story and for listening with an open mind as well as an open heart. And we're against people using babies just to collect benefits off of them like these two. All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the hardest things for me is watching when fathers have access to their kids, when they're in their kids' lives, and then do something like this. I think it sets men back, it sets fathers back so many steps every time this happens. This cannot happen. It should never happen. And this story is really sad, but it's also going to have some details that are not going to sit well with your sensibilities and maybe even my opinions. But that is your disclaimer if you need to exit the video. But a New Jersey man, and this story is coming out of lawandcrime.com. We get a lot of articles from them, so thank you for that. But a New Jersey man accused of dropping his son off. Dropping his son off at a hospital covered in bruises before he ran off, fleeing the state, has been charged with first-degree murder, prosecutors announced this week. Because the boy he dropped off with all of these injuries did not survive. So this is a very, very heartbreaking story. The fool, the idiot, the alleged father that you see on my screen. Let me go back just for a second. That is Christopher Greger, who was 29 years 29 years old. He is accused of beating that beautiful soul right there. That is 6-year-old Corey, and I cannot pronounce his last name. I can't do it properly. Micciollo. His 6-year-old son, Corey. I'll say that until I can pronounce his name properly. So please bear with me on that. I'm just not very good with some of these names. But he beat his son to death. These charges come in the wake of Ocean County Medical Examiner determining that Corey, his son, 6-year-old son, died as a result of blunt force injuries. When you guys know what that is, that means he got beat up. Blunt force injuries with cardiac and live contusions with acute inflammation and sepsis. He bled to death on the inside. On March the 3rd of 2022, this month, about 27 days ago, the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office received a report from the state's expert witness which indicated that 6-year-old Corey died as a result of blunt force impact of the chest and abdomen, and determined that the manner of the child's death to be a homicide. Ocean County prosecutors said in a press release after Greger's arrest, an extensive investigation conducted by the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office Major Crime Unit, Barnegat Township Police Department, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, and Ocean County Sheriff's Office Crime Scene Investigation Unit received that 6-year-old Corey was in the custody of Greger at the time he sustained his life-ending injuries, and that Greger, the father, is the individual responsible for this child's death. The young boy's death came one day after the court, and it sounds like this is family court. The boy's death came one day after the family court rejected an emergency filing from his mother, Brianna, with the same last name as him, Micciollo. Seeking custody of her son. What makes this even more heartbreaking, a lot of times on my channel, we talk about, just because they're the number of stories that come across my channel and my email, we talk about a lot of mothers who have murdered their children because the fathers filed for custody of the children. And in this case, you have a mother who filed for emergency custody. It was denied by a judge for whatever reason. And that decision cost this baby his life. And I don't know how, as a judge, these family courts, I don't know how they sleep at night knowing that your effed up decision led to this. No, you can't possibly know that this would have happened, but you also have to think if somebody is filing for emergency custody, there is something imperatively wrong. But let's keep going. The mother had been in contact with New Jersey Department of Child Protection and Permanency, I think that's how you pronounce that, DCPP, for close to a year at that point, as emails she sent to the agency confirmed. The mother informed DCPP in one email from July of 2020 that her son had been coming home with bruises, scrapes, black eyes, and even a bite mark, and this had been going on for a year. Now, I want to warn you, I'm going to show some pictures that are going to be a little bit disturbing, so you've already been forewarned. Let me show you guys some of the recorded injuries of this baby while he was alive. Now, I'm going to cycle through these rather quickly, but I want you to notice the bruising, and it looks like a bite mark on his arm right there. Where was his advocate? I want you guys to look at that baby's face. That is a nasty scrape on his forehead. Where was his advocate? Lastly, probably the most heartbreaking one. The mother is going to have to live with this, knowing that this was the state of her baby. And I want y'all to look at how messed up, and you're talking about a year that she had been doing her freaking job. This mother had been doing her job. She did it the right way, reported it, and it went on deaf ears. Look at this baby. Let me tell you, New Jersey, the courts, the New Jersey Department of Child Protection and Permanency, to have that level of evidence that somebody saw something and said something, presented it in a fashion that is indicative of abuse and a dangerous situation for a child, and you guys decided to deny this mother how many times? We don't even know how many times she was denied. But a day before the baby died, she was denied again. Why was she denied? Why was the proof that she provided not enough? Sometimes you don't even get pictures. That's what I think those dense assholes down there don't seem to understand. You don't get very many opportunities to save a child in danger. Sometimes you only get a yellow flag. Sometimes you don't get any red flags. Sometimes you don't get any warning at all. And when that conversation comes up, it's a life and death situation. And I just don't think that they're taking this like it's a life and death situation. Why do they take these jobs thinking they're going to collect a check, but thinking that they don't have to produce to the fullest extent of their job title to serve and protect the children? What's in the child's best interest? Let's see. The child is with the father, ends up with a bunch of scrapes and black eyes and looks like bite marks over a year period. And a day before, file for emergency custody, and next thing you know, dad dumped the kid off like a piece of dog trash that you wanted no part of, dumped him at a hospital and dipped, rather than just giving up custody. People like that, I believe, thugs and fools like this, I believe, only want these kids because they're collecting benefits off of these kids, and we call that hashtag babies for benefits. That is incredibly sad, and I don't know how a mother could ever sleep properly at night knowing that this is what she was forced to live through. by people's bad decisions. In that email, the mother also took issue with the DCPP practice of questioning Corey whenever he was at his dad's house, explaining that he's afraid of his father. She continued to send updates. Then, on the advice of her caseworker, the mother took 6-year-old Corey to see a pediatrician the day before his death. Medical records viewed by LawandCrime.com revealed that the boy was covered in bruises and that he told the doctor that some were from falling on a treadmill. Why is a 6-year-old on a He's a 6-year-old boy. What in the freaking world would he have to be on a treadmill for? Michiolo. Thank you. As I sure cannot pronounce that. Michiolo. Falling on a treadmill and others from playing on turf. I don't know very many 6-year-old boys that play on turf. Maybe grass, but not turf. That's a little bit odd. That's a yellow flag. Another red flag is, why would a 6-year-old be on a goddamn treadmill? It's just sometimes all you got to do is use a little common sense and just think there is no reason whatsoever for a 6-year-old child to be on a treadmill. That's just blindingly showing you something's wrong. But anyway, 6-year-old Corey broke down at one point while explaining how he sustained some of his injuries. The boy became tearful when he asked me to promise not to tell anybody what he said. Michiolo, the mother, told Law and Crime that there were several bruises that Corey did not explain that day. She added that there were no signs of internal injuries or bleeding at that time. Now, one day before the little 6-year-old boy's death, the mother filed an emergency application seeking custody of her son, pending the completion of an ongoing investigation. The judge ultimately ruled against the mother, stating that her request failed to demonstrate that the minor child is in danger of imminent or irreparable harm. I'm going to read that statement again, because I think this judge needs to never work another case again. The judge said that the mother... Let me pull the freaking picture back up. I'm sorry. Y'all know I'm about to be a cursing machine because I'm so pissed about this. I want y'all to look at this damn picture. Please look at this. And I'm going to repeat the words of the judge. Look at this. The judge said that all of this evidence failed to demonstrate that this minor child is in danger of imminent or irreparable harm. Like the wise philosopher Kanye West said, how, Sway? How? I just don't understand. You bring evidence to the table. I thought that's what the courts were for, is for you to present evidence, and the evidence should be considered, and you use that evidence to make a judgment call, and you just said, you know what, screw the evidence. That don't prove nothing. The fact that this boy got bite marks and bruises and scrapes and things that a 6-year-old boy should not have, and none of that was proof enough to show that this baby boy was in danger until he died. Now it's too freaking late. Now I guess it just doesn't matter now, huh? You're just going to just sweep his ashes under the rug and we're just going to just move the hell on. Is that what we're going to do? Okay. After dropping his son off at the hospital, Gregor fled and left the state. He returned 3 months later and was arrested by police. So nobody even said anything. How do you kill your kid and nobody, like somebody knew where he was, whatever woman he was living with, somebody knew, or family member, somebody knew. But by that time, a video emerged from March of 2021 showing Gregor and the boy in the gym of his apartment building. Michiolo told Law and Crime, the mother, that 6-year-old Corey could be seen running on the treadmill in the video as his father kept increasing the speed. The father, Gregor, allegedly picked him up and placed him back on the machine when the boy fell. Corey said that his dad told him he needed to run faster because he was fat. He said, run faster because he's fat. He's 6. He's a baby. He's 6. The only reason that people do stuff like this and abuse their children like this, and this is why I always tell people to stop spanking their children. Spanking is lazy. Spanking is Neanderthal. It's because when those children get bigger, they can physically prevent you from beating them and physically hurting them. That's what a bully does. He only did this to the 6-year-old boy because he was a bully, and he was able to bully the boy because the baby couldn't fight back. The 6-year-old boy couldn't fight a grown-ass man back. An investigator described Gregor, the father, as appearing to bite his son on the head at one point. Prosecutor said in a press release that the father, Gregor, was first charged in July of 2021 with endangering the welfare of a child in connection with the March 2021 event. But the mom still couldn't, I guess that don't count as evidence. Though initially lodged in the Ocean County Jail, Gregor was subsequently released as a consequence of New Jersey bail reform. Now charged with murder, Gregor is being held with no bond at the Ocean County Jail awaiting his first court appearance. He has denied ever hitting or abusing the boy, but Gregor downplayed the boy's injuries and said the boy needs to be tougher, according to text sent to the mother and viewed by lawandcrime.com. He said the boy needs to be tougher, but you beat him so bad that he died from his injuries, but he need to be tougher. Anyway, Gregor's defense attorney called this case tragic, but insisted his client is not the one to blame. As I've stated from the outset of July, Mr. Gregor has nothing to do with the death of this child. Although tragic, it must be remembered that the mother was not given custody of her own child for a reason. Boy, that hurts. Mario F. Gallucci tells Law and Crime. It took Ocean County prosecutor over 8 months to finally find a forensic examiner that they had to pay to agree with their narrative. Once I received the medical examiner's reports, the county and the hired gun, our expert, will review it. Then the real reason behind the child's tragic death will be finally revealed. And Gregor faces the possibility of life if convicted as charged. The fact that he dumped his son at a hospital and ran, that's not indicative of guilt? I don't know what kind of world we living in, man. Let me give you the fair usage. Let's get it. federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. I guess according to New Jersey judges, that you have to bring in children's severed limbs in order to show that they're in danger, right? Got to bring their heads in on a silver platter. Look, he killed my kid. He's in danger. Now can I have custody of the kid? Guess that's the way it works. If you guys would, please share the memory of 6-year-old Corey Michiolo. Hit that thumbs up and share this video, please.
A New Jersey father is facing new allegations nearly a year after authorities charged him with endangering the welfare of a child following the death of his son. A statement from the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office confirms that Christopher Greger had been charged with the murder of 6-year-old Corey Michiolo. While the release only identifies the victim by his initials, an online obituary reveals his full name. The statement says that through investigating the death, which occurred on July 7, 2021, detectives discovered evidence that Greger had committed acts of abuse against the child. According to the Asbury Park Press, investigators recovered surveillance footage from March 20th, 2021, allegedly showing Corey running on a treadmill while Greger approached the machine and increased the speed. According to the APP, if Corey couldn't keep up and fell off the machine, his father would place him back on the treadmill and power it up. The report also alleges that on one occasion, the 29-year-old appears to bite Corey on the head as he puts him back on the machine. On March 3rd, the prosecutor's office received a report from the state's expert witness, which indicated the boy had died as a result of blunt force impact of the chest and abdomen, calling the manner of death homicide. According to the new press release, further investigation revealed that the child was, quote, in the custody of Greger at the time he sustained his life-ending injuries, and that Greger is the individual responsible for the child's death. Greger remains in police custody. His attorney told the APP that his client denies having anything to do with his son's death.
So you mean to tell me that they say it appears on video he appeared to bite his son on the head? Appeared. They have pictures of all of this abuse for a whole year. You know what's funny? Here's the funny part about it, and I'm sure the mother probably thought this too. Now the boy is dead. And the courts and CPS and nobody will still admit that there was abuse going on. I want y'all to notice, out of everything that I read, they're still denying what actually happened to this baby boy. And I think that is damaging to this baby's legacy. He deserves to have some truth told because he was forced to live in this hell, forced to live with a father that didn't love him and couldn't even be saved by his mother, nor the courts, nor the judge, and everybody denied him. When this baby could have grown up to become something great, they didn't even give him a chance. So it's really sad, but I think that this jerk off that you guys see on my screen needs life in prison. That seems like that would be a suitable punishment for this. But it'll never bring back this handsome young man, 6-year-old Corey Michiolo, that could have grown up and become anything. To that young prince, R.I.P. Because he deserves so much better, and he deserved a real advocate, and those people failed him. So prayers up to the mother, and our thoughts and condolences. And if anybody has any questions, you can always feel free to email me. My email address is the one and only theafcmatters@gmail.com, right here on the bottom of the screen. But thank you, and my heart goes out to you guys. All right, now thank you guys so much. I hope y'all have a great day, and show some love to our sponsors. Thank you to everybody who was able to support us. I think I shouted out everybody. Thank you to everybody on Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and the Super Chat. Love you all. If y'all need anything, just shoot me an email. Try to keep your emails a little bit shorter for me. The shorter you keep your email, I can respond a hell of a lot quicker. But if you write me like really, really long emails and stories, My brain just don't function that well. It really don't. So try to keep it short. I love you all. And if you send me emails, if you have multiple stories to send me, try to send them all in one email. Put all your links in one email, and that way I can check them all, and I can try to get to everybody's and try to dwindle them down. And I want to talk about as many stories as you guys send me, okay? And I love you all. Y'all have a great day. AFC, Advocates for Children, I love you all. Thank you for the support. Y'all have a great day. Peace.
Check out this wonderful organization that I'm proud to be a part of. It's called Bags for Kids, BAGS4KIDS.org. And check out their website. They really help a lot of kids in foster care, giving them a permanent piece of luggage and also a lot of items that they might need so that they feel that they belong, which they do. So go to the website, bags4kids.org. So go for it. It's a great place, and they're doing great work.
Exclusive new products that you will only see on my website at www.sayitwithchess.com. These products are made special by my mother, Keyline Design. The hoodie blankie, the face mask, as well as the 4-in-1 African head wrap. Now the way it works, it is a reversible bonnet. It has a headband that you can wear alone. It has a matching face mask as well. Please be sure to go over to our website and check out these nice new products that you will not find anywhere else.